So section 9. So again, we have two models. We had this before. In model number 1, there was some input, then we had some processing. Right after that, we had output. However, here we can see that it's just more in details. Like for example, here actually just showing us, sound, sight, touch, taste, smell, they all gonna be inputs. All of them will go to sensory memory, and then based on attention, some of them will go to short-term memory. Then we're gonna have rehearsal, and some of those information again gonna go to long-term memory. Then based on the problem right in front of us, some of the information from long-term memory gonna be retrieved, and we can answer the problem in front of us. The whole process of attention, rehearsal, and retrieving gonna be the processing part. The answer that we're gonna provide to the question is gonna be output. So basically they are just so similar, but they do have some differences as well. So keep them in mind. So basically information processing model has four main processes. Number 1, encoding, then we have automatization, then we have strategy construction, then we have a strategy selection. Encoding means identifying the most important part of an object in front of you and just use those main information to just provide an answer. Automatization is just using your cognitive operation to just execute different problem solving strategies. Strategy construction is just creating different strategy for processing and remembering info. A strategy selection means finding more effective strategy. Okay, what is the difference between these two? First of all, in automatization, we have some cognitive operation, for example, based on if-then processing or if-then rule-based. We're gonna actually do one statement or two statement to just understand the problem in front of us. Then, depending on the situation and depending on the problem, we're gonna create some strategy in this process, right? Then in the last step, we just pick one strategy all the time for answering one similar problem, if that makes sense. I will actually talk about this more and more. In formal schooling, children have to remember and learn new strategy and new information. They actually learn those strategy from their teachers and from their parents. For example, here we have some arithmetic problem. For example, just asking you 3 plus 5 gonna be equal to what? What is the answer? Strategy number 1 is just using your hands as a child. You're gonna just literally use your hand and try to answer this problem. Strategy number 2 is just literally counting. Like the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 until you're gonna hit 8. Okay, so just let's go back to the main four processes. So basically during automatization, you're gonna actually use your cognitive operation to answer that arithmetic problem, right? But in a strategy construction, you're gonna create one strategy, for example, either using your hands or just counting loud. You're gonna solve that problem in front of you, if that makes sense. However, if you, for example, combine counting plus using your hand, it's going to be a new strategy. And out of those two strategies, you actually created one. So it's going to be a strategy selection. And from now on, you're going to always stick to just counting loud and using your hands. Wait. Okay. So another strategy here gonna be just guessing. For example, saying something. For example, some children, they actually don't pay attention to the problem. They literally gonna guess. They would say that 1, 2, 3, or 7, or 10 until they would hit 8. They're gonna be more advanced strategy. It is for older children, also for children who are just more gifted in numeracy. For example, they can understand that like 3, 5 or 3 plus 5 gonna be equal to 4 plus 4. They already know the answer for 4 plus 4. They know that it's gonna be 8. So they can understand that 3 is just one number less than 4. 5 is just one number more than 4. So they're gonna just get the answer and they would say 8. This actually leads to the idea of overlapping waves model, which actually combining all I said so far. It just says that younger children, they do have several strategies. For example, strategy number 1 gonna be counting using counting by your hands. Strategy number 2 gonna be saying out loud. Strategy number 4 maybe gonna be using both your hands and like counting loud, because as you can see, it might be combination of a strategy 1 and 2. I don't know. But as you are getting older, you're gonna just come up with one strategy, or let's say you're gonna select one strategy and you're gonna go on with that all the time. So older children, they don't have like 10 strategies, they just have one, and they're gonna stick with that one strategy all the time because they had enough experiences, and they are just processing faster. So probably they would just stick to one strategy.